How's it going? Once again, this is You May Roscoe, or better still, this is the Warheads version of You May Roscoe, and because the Warheads are in the building, that's me and that's Joe V. Well,
Ew.
you see my partner in crime is here with me. Today, me and Joe, we gonna take a look at a George Carlin bit rather. This is called Fussy Eater. This ought to be very interesting.
Now,
Uh,
is it fussy or fussy?
we gonna see. We gonna see. As soon as I clear my throat, you
'Cause I
know. But,
think that F is missing a line.
right. Fussy. Who eating that fussy?
I ain't talking about at the bottom.
Right. But before me and Joe V get into this, we're gonna ask for that anybody who has it that they please subscribe to the channel and also make sure that you hit the notification bell. That way you'll be reminded of future shows anytime they're published. I also want to give a shout out. This one is to Jim Tatro. So, Jim, thank you very much for rocking out with me on the page, for suggesting that we check this particular thing out. So, we're going to rock this out for you and everybody else out there. I do want to state to make sure that we go over to George Carlin's homepage and hit the sub button, hit the notification bell as well, because we do want to support the artists, even if they ain't here. Somebody is still holding the estate down. So make sure that you do that. But now that I've gotten that out the way, you ready to eat some pussy?
You go first.
All right, let's go. Let's go and check out Fussy Eater. Let's do it.
I was what they called a fussy eater. He's fussy. He's a fussy eater. Fussy eater is a euphemism for big pain in the ass. I mean, if I didn't like something, I told them. I didn't play with my food, pick at my food. I said, I don't like that. You make this? I don't like it. Why? They wanted reasons. Well, you don't always have a reason. I don't know. I know I don't like it. And I know that if I ate it, I would like it even less. You like it? You eat it. Then they would try to corner me with logic. How do you know you don't like it? If you've never even tried. It came to me in a dream. Big pain in the ass. Some things I didn't like just because of the sound of the food. To this day, I can still not eat yogurt. Yogurt. It sounds like it's coming up again. Yogurt. I can't.
Is he saying yogurt? Is that what he's saying?
What's that?
No, he. It sounds like he was saying yogurt.
Probably.
Yeah, no, but I don't. Who doesn't like yogurt?
Well, what I find interesting, because I had to look up the expression because I'm trying to find the comedy here, right?
Right.
And it says, if you're a finicky eater, that is, you are quite particular about food, fastidious, fussy, picky, persnickety. These are all synonyms for finicky, and they all suggest someone with extremely exacting taste and habits, someone almost impossible to please.
Mm, mm. That's interesting. That's interesting because
An unwillingness to eat familiar foods or try new foods, as well as strong food preferences. A fussy eater.
yeah,
I'm kind of disappointed.
yeah. No, I and see this the thing, man. When you are young in black households, I don't know how many of these persnickety eaters you're gonna find. I mean, you're gonna have them, but you ain't gonna be allowed to exercise that person snickety ness in a black household a lot of the times. Like when we was kids, whether you liked it or not liked it, you was gonna eat that. You eating that. You know what I mean? So sometimes like I remember there was some foods that I didn't like when I was younger. Um, stuff like okra, liver, and I would come up with some creative ways to like, get rid of this stuff, or either that or I just be sitting there. I remember one time I like sat at the table probably for a long, long while, and it's crazy. I can actually remember us like sitting at a table to eat together, and that was very far and few in between. But oh my goodness, like I would sit at the table forever and be chewing on a piece of liver for like an hour. But let's keep this going.
It sounds like it's coming up again. I can't eat anything with a Y and a G in it. Something else that doesn't sound so good. Squash! You want some squash? Shit, no! Sounds like somebody sat on my dinner. Succotash? Want some succotash? What'd you call me? You fuck? Look out! Hey, look out! Fucking, come on! Hey, fucking cool out! Hey, it's fucking lima beans and corn. Cool out! Cool out! Wheat germ. No! Get it off my plate! Even something like eggplant. Well, which one is it anyway? Tell it to make up its mind and then come on back. Terrible sounding food. Head cheese.
I wonder if that's the same as hog head cheese.
Say that again?
I said, I wonder if that's the same thing as hog head cheese.
Probably.
Because dude, you remember, and rest in peace to Earl Fleming, man. But Earl, who worked at the center, you remember us going to the center as kids, man, and we'll go and play basketball and do all this stuff. But I'd be in there playing chess with Earl, and he used to always send us to the stove for hog head cheese.
Well, I don't know. I've always looked at foods like different strokes for different folks. It's a lot of things that I just wouldn't eat, like chitlins. That's a staple in a lot of Black households, especially around the holiday times.
Right.
And people, they rave about it, but like maybe I am a fussy eater. I never thought about it.
Yeah, no.
I heard George complaining, but he's talking about things that never were in my home. And
Right.
so maybe when you have access to a whole bunch of different foods, you can become a fussy eater. I just knew, like, I was never big on pork growing up.
Right. Like me, and you're right about that. Like I mean, who was eating eggplant in the black household, But
Right.
but chitlins, yeah, no. When I was a kid, I hated chitlins. It's crazy that like somewhere in my later 20s, I kind of picked up the taste for it because I lived around a lot of people who was cooking this stuff all the time, and I tried it, and I was like, it's not that bad. You know what I mean? It stink like shit, and I barely eat it now. But like somewhere in my 20s and 30s, like I found the taste for that stuff. It was crazy, but
Really?
yeah. No, it's not something I'm proud of. It's not something I'm proud of, but
You should have went to the grave with that one, bro.
like I had to play the chitlins, And I don't know if I necessarily turned it down, like nowadays. I don't know, man. I probably should have kept that to myself, but let's keep this going.
I can't even look at the sign. I'll be down near the bologna. You look at it.
What it is. Okay, at you.
Between head cheese and blood tongue, I may never eat again. Certainly won't be at the deli. Then there are some foods that sound too humorous to eat. Did you ever hear something too funny to eat? Guacamole. That sounds like something you wear to a dance. May I borrow your green guacamole? Garbanzo. Hey, you want some garbanzos? That sounds like a circus act. Ladies and gentlemen, the garbanzos. And the funniest food of all time, kumquats. I don't bring them home anymore. Just go to waste. Some things don't look right. I don't like that, Ma. Don't look right to me. Did you make that? Is there a picture of it in the cookbook? I bet it don't look like that. Let's face it, be honest, some things don't look right. Of course, some people eat anything. I know that. Some guys eat anything. I saw those guys in the army on the chow line. What's this? Never mind, give me a whole lot of it. That's rat's asshole, Don. Well, it certainly makes a hell of a fondue. Don't look, I don't eat anything I don't recognize immediately. If I have to ask questions, fuck it, I pass, you know? Tomatoes don't look right either. On the outside, they're fine. Tomatoes look lovely on the outside, but you look inside a tomato and something is wrong. Something has gone afoul inside of a tomato. It doesn't look right, you know? It doesn't look like it's finished yet, for one thing. It looks like it's in the larval stage or something. There's thousands of seeds and a whole bunch of jelly-looking stuff. Get it off my plate. It's squishy.
I think George, I'm gonna put you back just a tiny bit, but I think George is tripping right now.
He really is. Because I'm listening to him and I'm becoming self-conscious. I love garbanzo beans. I love guacamole. I love tomatoes. And I'm sitting up here like, yeah, it do look kind of weird on the inside. George, shut your ass.
I never ever questioned George Carlin's logic on pretty much anything, but now it's like, I don't know, man. Like I'm me myself, I've never saw nothing wrong with a tomato. Actually, like I can sit and you give me like some it's not salt, but there's I used to eat tomato.
Exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, tomato.
That red stuff.
Yeah, and I'll be like, yeah, no, this is cool. I could do this. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. George tripping a little bit on the tomato.
He is the epitome of a persnickety eater.
Oh man, big time. Like, and garbanzos too. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what he tripping about.
Garbanzos are delicious on a burrito.
Yeah, no. Hey, if you had some neck bones, you know what I mean? Like the people throw garbanzos in there with their neck bones. So I don't know.
Yeah, forget what this version of George is talking about. Anyway, let's go.
Let's go.
There's thousands of seeds and a whole bunch of jelly-looking stuff. Get it off my plate. It's squishy. It's like that stuff at the end of an egg. And I know it's not the end of an egg. It's the beginning of a chicken. In income. Get it off my plate. It don't look right. Something else that doesn't look like food. Lobsters and crabs. I mean, anything coming at me walking sideways with big pinchers somehow doesn't make me hungry. In fact, my instinct is step on that fuck. Look at the big bug. Step on the big bug before he gets to the children. They look like they mean business. Can't order frog's legs in the restaurant. I keep wondering, what did they do with the rest of the frog? What do they do with it? They give them little dollies and send them back out into the world to beg? Try to return them to a normal life if you can. Trouble is, the Dollies for Froggies program has been cut in half. You've probably seen
Everything's getting cut. The government cuts all the good benefits. But you a frog leg dude?
I am a crab leg and lobster, man. I just literally had a boil from Hook and Reel the other night.
Yeah, no, I remember as a kid having like a tiny issue with eating like crab and lobster and all that, but now I could tear that stuff up. I could tear that stuff up, man.
Yeah, it's this place, like this all you can eat place out in like South Denver called Hero, and they serve the best fried crab. I mean, it is so good. It's hard to explain it, man. It tastes like chicken, if you want to know the truth of the matter. I think George he was just a victim of his own overactive imagination when it came to food.
Right. No, yeah, no. Being a comedian in this instance, didn't serve him well. I don't think because I always say that they're the most observant people on the planet, but that probably was his problem, is being over observant. So I don't know.
Yeah, that imagination, boy.
No, it'll run wild if you let it. It'll run wild if you let it, man. Let's finish this thing out.
Try to return them to a normal life if you can. Trouble is, the Dollies for Froggies program has been cut in half. You've probably seen the last Froggy Dolly for a long, long time. I'd rather eat a box of cookies. Doesn't that always come in handy? Just eat a goddamn box of cookies. You ever do that? A whole box of cookies right in a row. I don't mean take them out. I mean eat them in the kitchen. Standing right in the kitchen, eat a whole goddamn box of cookies. Just stare at the electric clock while you're eating those cookies. Did you ever notice right on the cookies it says open here? Well, what the fuck do they think you're going to do? Move to Hong Kong to open up their cookies? You're going to open them here. You're going to eat them here. You almost have to open them here. Thank God it doesn't say open somewhere else. Shit, I'd be up all night trying to find a good location.
All right, that's the end of that. The funny thing about that is, regardless if you have the box that says open here, wherever you're at is here. So that's the thing. If you was to take them somewhere else with you, you still here, according to the box. But that was George Carlin with Fussy Eater. And Jovi, what was your overall thoughts on this, man?
Well, at the end, it's like everywhere you go, there you are.
yeah, exactly.
But he's talking about being a finicky eater. I was hoping Fussy was a euphemism for something else. I think I would have liked that much more. I'm just being a perv. Am I being a perv?
Oh no, I mean, yeah, you are. But
love your honesty.
Right, but I mean, that I'm not saying there's necessarily something wrong with that. There's different kind of pervs. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't classify you as an unhealthy perv. So yeah, no. But yeah, no, it would have been fun if it would have been what we were thinking.
What you say? I'm no Roman Polanski or Woody Allen.
Right. I mean, tomato, tomato. Gee, that's what I say. But anything else?
No. I mean, it was moderately funny. There was a couple of points that stood out, but all I can say about George Carlin is his imagination was probably wild as hell. It probably, like, he's just talking about food now, and his perception of names of food and what they look like and all this other stuff. There's plenty of food that I've eaten. Going back to guacamole, it doesn't look like anything. It's just some green guac, but it's so delicious, you know.
Right.
And it doesn't taste like much, but with the right salsa and the right chip, tastes like everything,
Yeah.
you know. And so I guess I've never just allowed my imagination to get that, you know, far blown out of proportion while trying to eat. You know, I'm a little adventurous. I've eaten mussels and stuff, and that's not even at the top of my list. Is it something I would suggest? No, but I'm not afraid to try to eat it either.
Right, right. I've been in the mindset, especially like, you know, since I've gotten away from those early years as a kid when I was probably closer to being a fussy eater, you know, because I can remember a few times as a little kid where I was kind of tripping on some foods, but some of those same foods, like later on in life, I would end up like, oh, you know what? I like this. You know, like I didn't like okra. Now I can eat it. You know, liver, the same thing. Like I hated liver, but now I can eat it. You know, so it was just some things like that. And then, like I said, the reverse. You know, well, no, not the reverse, because the same thing. You know, just like with what I said about chitlins and look, I actually said the actual word correctly. You know, we don't, we call them chitlins, in the hood. But yeah, no, it's been stuff like that where I was just like, no, as a kid. But then later on, I was like, you know what? And I guess your taste buds grow or whatever. Who knows? So
I think the closest I ever came to be a fussy eater is when I was younger. I didn't like my food to touch on the plate
oh,
until one day my great grandmother was like, "Boy, it's all going to the same place," and I had to be like, "You know, she's right.
yeah,
She's
no,
right."
you actually reminded me because, dude, I think I had that same issue like when I was younger. Like I didn't like certain things to touch or whatever. But then like one of the guys, his dad, man, like I'll be over there at their crib a lot. So when they dad came home from work and they mom would have these big dinners made up for him and all this, and he used to intentionally slop all this stuff together. You know what I mean? And it was just like, why is he eating this food like that? But then I started thinking, like, it is going to the same place. I mean, separating it is just something we do just because we've been trained to do it that way. But if you slap it all together, it's the same. It's going to end up in your stomach all together. So, yeah, it started making sense to me. I was like, you know what? Ain't nothing wrong with mashing this stuff together or certain foods touching. It's all going where it's going. So,
I don't see nothing wrong with a little food touching.
oh man, where else is you gonna get a R. Kelly reference? Where else? But me and Joe B, we finna get up out of here, man. But before we do, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the share button, hit the playlist option. You'll pick the one named Comedy Reactions. That's where you'll find this particular video and any videos that are comedy related, whether it be stand up or anything else revolving around comedy, it'll be in that playlist. I do have playlists for other things. A lot of that stuff is going to be music based, but as you can see, we have some things that aren't. So whenever you get a chance and you're checking through those playlists, which I definitely suggest, especially if you're going to make requests for anything, please check the playlist first because I'm getting a lot of requests for this, that, and the other, and a lot of that stuff has been reacted to on my page already. So please make sure you're doing that. Cash App, $ you made Roscoe, PayPal at you made Roscoe. For those who like to show their support, appreciation for the work being done on the page, any donations, you're going to do it at one of those two at the bottom of the screen. And that's pretty much it. That's Jovi, any last words?
No, we'll see you in a minute.
All right, we finna dip, man. This has been brought to you by the Warheads again, and that's Warheads with an X at the end, with an X at the end. You know, not a Z or a S. It's Warheads with an X. So if you want to go over to the Warheads page and watch some shows with both of us in it, you know, and some featured guests because we always have that. But you can check that stuff out too. That's DA Warheads, you know, with an X at the end. So and I have the link on my page too, you know, to that stuff. So yeah, no, it's time. We gonna get up out of here. We will see you guys again soon. So, or you'll see us the next time that you click onto a video with me or me and Jovi. You know, you may find somebody else who knows in the show. So, until then, be safe, be good.